Can you explain to the listener how big WrestleMania is?
It's like the Super Bowl for wrestling.
It's a Super Bowl.
It's a Super Bowl for wrestling.
And this specific one was even bigger than just a Super Bowl. It was Kurt Angle's last match, Dave Bautista's last match, first time
Kofi Kingston.
Kofi Mania.
Kofi
It was also Kofi
gone.
Mania.
Like
Big
this
Patriots fan from Massachusetts.
Yep.
Kofi.
Yeah,
Colin Jost, SNL guy in the Battle Royale, wearing a Cleveland Browns jersey for some reason. And Seth Rollins won the Universal Championship this night.
Can you take us through the moment? Can you take this because this is a big thing. Can you take us through the moment when you first found out you were going to headline WrestleMania 35?
Yeah.
Who'd you call? How excited were you? Like this is, I mean, we talked about 7 years ago when you're coming into mom's house with banged up eye, going to fucking everywhere around the world. Now you're literally doing what you didn't even imagine to be able to do because it has never been done. You're the pioneer for this. How that had to be fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was incredible. I was driving from Buffalo, New York to Boston.
Route 90.
Route
Yeah.
90.
Yep. You know it.
Pike.
Yep.
Yeah.
6-hour drive? 6-hour drive. We had an early show, right?
Could be a little higher.
Cruising.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I was cruising. But I stopped and I had like a little dance party in the car. And then I told Colby, I told my boyfriend at the time, now husband. He was the first person I told, which was probably insensitive, which was very insensitive of me because he was also hoping to be the main event of WrestleMania that year.
Nah, it's different.
How did he take it?
How did he take it?
So like I've said, my husband's a no seller. So I said, we're going to main event WrestleMania. And he goes, that's interesting. Well, like no, he said it. He was like, well, because normally they don't announce what the main event is. And I think up until that point, they actually hadn't. He was right. They never actually announce it beforehand. Nowadays, everybody just says they're the main event of WrestleMania and then we'll see what happens on the day. But it was a bit of a stab to him, you know?
Yeah.
I should have handled it more sensitively.
What went into planning this match? Like you get the call and then break us down on preparation, emotionally, physically,
and then
mentally.
Oh my gosh! Like then the week running up, like my husband was just the best. Like I was just so nervous, scared, and would he would just counsel me and remind me that it's not about the wrestling, it's not about the moves, it's about the emotion, it's about the story being told, and which is what it is, and we were already there. We already had the crowd, we already had them hooked by the story, and it was just a matter of going out there and doing the damn thing. But we didn't really get to plan the match until the day of.
Oh, whoa.
And even then, like the show, because this was a historical match, everybody had media. So we were always being dragged in different spots. So we didn't really have anything up until maybe an hour before we went out. And the other thing was, I don't think Ronda had never been in a triple threat match before. And they're kind of nuanced in your way of structuring them and in terms of how many people should be in a ring. Yeah. So we didn't get to walk over all of those details beforehand. But we went out there and the crowd had been sitting through about 8 hours of wrestling at that stage.
Wow. It was after midnight.
It was after midnight.
Yeah.
It was after midnight when we went out there. So it was a long night, but the crowd were still with us. They were just chanting Becky the entire time.
Yeah, you were definitely the man of that crowd.
I was the crowd favorite, and they were all still there. I think that was the thing. Nobody's going to leave a WrestleMania, but at that hour, the trains had shut down. Like everybody ended up being stranded after this because it started raining and nobody could get out. It was a whole disaster. But anyway, in that great moment, the crowd just kept chanting Becky all night until I won.
Till you fucking got
Till I
it.
won.
So epic.
The shoulders down.
Kind of.
reversing the Piper's
Yeah.
pin.
Yeah.
They tried to get you on the move, and then you
they were
pulled a
good.
quick one.
You know, so they were down-ish.
They were down, baby, for 3.
Look, it's not my job. It's not my job to look for the shoulders being down. It's my job to listen for the 3 count, and it was there.
I mean, the ref's gonna call what the ref calls.
The ref's gonna call what the ref calls.
So
Yeah.
in that moment, like not to skip ahead, but just because you kind of brought it up, you're sitting on the middle of the match or the ring, middle of MetLife. Like you got the thing. You're now at the top of wrestling. You are officially the man. Like as a entertainer, as an athlete, as just a human. What's going through your mind in that moment?
Well, I think the whole day, everybody.
Are you exhausted? You got to be exhausted.
I don't think I was exhausted just yet, but everybody kept saying, "Soak it in, soak it in, soak it in, soak it in." So I'm just going, "Am I soaking it in? Am I soaking everything in?" Soaking it in, you know.
Full soak.
So I was just very cognizant of soaking it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was soaking it in, soaking it in.